everyone, welcome to my fall home tour video. In this video, I'll be showing you what my home looks like decorated for fall, and I'm also going to finally be getting to my chalkboard. I like taking my chalkboard and making it seasonally appropriate, so sometimes that's drawing like a picture or writing a saying out or a quote. Today I'm going to be taking down my summer chalkboard and making it more appropriate for October. So I'm excited to get to that as well. So I'm actually going to be starting out with the chalkboard portion. So this is something that I like to do. There's a lot of different ways that you can do it. You can even buy things on Etsy that you can just basically peel and stick and put right onto a chalkboard. If you have a Cricut, you can make your own different kind of vinyl lettering you can put up, or you can just freehand it. I'm not necessarily that great at freehanding, but I have fun doing it and I like seeing what I can create. So I'm just going to show you today how I go through that process. So obviously, I first need to get the old summer chalkboard cleaned off. Then I'm going to go ahead and start with some chalk paint markers, and I also have these pencils that are basically like colored pencils, but for a chalkboard. And I'm going to actually mix them. So I'm kind of counting out my words and seeing how I want them to fit. And I'm actually going to show you a couple of different ways that I decide to write my quote onto the chalkboard. I start out going with pretty simple lettering and I get it all on there, and I actually decide eventually that I don't love the way it looks. So I'm interested to know in the comments, do you prefer the first way I do the chalkboard or the second way? As you'll see, I wind up going with the second option, where I go with a more cursive option. But that's one thing I really like about freehanding it. I wasn't sure which way I wanted it, and so when you're just writing it out, you can do it, and then if you don't like the way it looks, then you just erase it and try something different. So that's what I'm doing here. I write it out, and then I see if I like it. After I decide that I don't like it, I erase what I don't like, and then I come back and try again. And so I would just encourage you, if you're trying to do a chalkboard, just experiment with it. It doesn't have to be high pressure, and at the end of the day, it's just something for your home. So if you like the way that it looks, then that's all that really matters. So experiment and have fun with it, and the more that you do it, the better that you'll get. Now, as this chalkboard section is playing, I do want to tell you just a couple of things about the rest of this video. So this is going to be a fall tour of my home, and I do have a couple other videos showing in more detail how I decorate the kitchen and the family room. So if you want to see those areas in more detail, you can go check those out. But this is going to show you the rest of the house that I don't really show necessarily in their own videos. And I hope that it's just something that can give you some ideas, some inspiration. That's really what I want this channel to be. This channel is really just something to help inspire people in how they can help their house become their home. And that may be, a clean along with me, a declutter video, a decorate with me, or a DIY project. Or maybe it's just doing something crafty. Like right now, you can see the chalkboard, you can see that I'm coming in and kind of adding a little bit more artistic element to it other than just the quote. So if that gives you an idea of how you could do something creative on a chalkboard or a painting, that's really what I'm hoping to accomplish with this channel. So if that's something that you're interested in, be sure to subscribe and definitely give this video a like if you were able to get a little bit of inspiration from it, and if you were able to take something from it that you might be able to implement in your own home. So right now I'm kind of coming along, and I decided I wanted to do pumpkin vines on this chalkboard, and so that's what I'm doing. I'm using kind of a combination of my chalk paint pens to get my vine, and then I wound up having an orange colored chalk pencil that worked really well to kind of draw in the pumpkins. And again, you can see I'll draw a few things. I don't really like the way that it looks, and I come back and I, erase some of it with a wet paper towel, and then I come in and I do something different. So all of this is just, it's up to you. It's not high pressure. If you draw something you don't like, then just erase it and try again. And as you're going through this, just make sure you don't put a ton of pressure on yourself. It's supposed to be fun. So right now I'm putting the finishing touches on my chalkboard sign. I chose the quote, "I'm so glad I live in a world where there are Octobers," from Anne of Green Gables. I really do love October and I love the fall, so I felt like this was an appropriate quote. If you're looking for inspiration for quotes, definitely try looking at Pinterest. There's all kinds of different chalkboard signs and even just not chalkboard signs that have lots of quotes that you might find that you would like to use as inspiration. So after I get this sign up, we're going to go ahead and move into our front room. Now this is a space where I don't do a lot. The kids still do come in here and play, and so I don't do a lot with breakable decor or things that are fragile, but I do like to add some pops of color. A couple of ways I do this are with some pumpkins, and as you can see, these pumpkins are, they're plush, they're felt, they're not going to break easily. I do like to add color with a blanket. I think it's a really easy, cheap way to just instantly add color. It also doesn't take a ton of effort. So even if you're really busy, you can very easily just throw a blanket over a couch or a chair, even a bed if you're in a bedroom. So that would be my tip probably for this video, is if you don't have a lot of time, look into just getting a blanket in a color that you like, and you'll be really, I think, pleased with how much of an impact it can make in a room. Now I am showing you what I do on my piano area, just because it's basically an area in the room that just screams to be decorated. I love the way that these colors pop with the black and the white of the window frame. And so this is a space where I do tend to put a little bit more effort in, and it's higher so the kids don't reach up here that often. They're not really playing on the piano with toys and things like that. I don't remember where I got these stems, but the tall vase is from Target this year. And then on the left side, the candle, that was a gift. And then kind of the pedestal that the candle is sitting on, that's something I've had for years. So I can't say where those two items came from, but the vase did come from Target. And I think the way that all these colors kind of play together works out really well. And then I went in and added just a few little touches, a couple acorns that we actually picked up on a hike. And I think it turned out really nice, and it's a great anchor for the room. So moving on to the dining room, I don't have a lot going on in here. I don't have like a full table set, but I do like to do a couple of things. Up on the wall, we have national park posters for some of the parks that we've been to and we really enjoyed. And we actually have 8 of these posters, and I switch them out depending on the season. The one for Shenandoah and also the Blue Ridge Parkway are really pretty fall scenes, so I put those in for the fall season. Then on the sideboard, I just add a few touches of fall and do the same for the table. So moving on to the family room, I really enjoy decorating these shelves for all seasons. If you want to see more of how I decorate these shelves, I definitely suggest looking at my Decorate After Dark video, in which I go through this whole space. One thing I do in this space is, just like the front room, I get a nice cozy blanket and I add it to the couch. It's something that's really easy to add in. This was 10 bucks at Costco, and even when the kids do play with it, it's just a blanket, and it's not that hard to just throw right back on the couch. And it's also really nice that it's practical, and it does help keep you warm on the cool fall nights. So the last room I want to include is the kitchen, which I also did a video on if you want to see how I cleaned everything up and got it ready to decorate for fall. It connects right into the family room, and really the family room in the kitchen is the heart of our home. It's where we spend the most time. So I don't do a ton of decor on the counters just because we do have a lot of food prep and you're washing the dishes and there's a lot going on in the kitchen. But I definitely like to add some touches of fall in the kitchen. And I love being able to put a candle right there on the island because it is really right in the center of where we're at. So I would encourage you, if you're not really into candles, you don't want to spend a lot of money on them, find a place that you're in and you spend a lot of time in, and that would be a really great place to just find one candle you love and put it there. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a great fall season.